Hey everyone, welcome back to the Listen It Real podcast, where you get your daily dose of LGBTQ plus news, culture, and stories shaping our community right now. I'm your host, Zach Randles-Friedman, and today's episode is a packed one. We're talking Hollywood, Pride season, reality stars and turning activists, major wins in wrestling, and some serious conversations around healthcare, immigration, and representation. Our first story is Domingo gets personal ahead of major films. Domingo is having a moment, and he is leaning into it fully. In a recent interview with the Wall Street Journal, Domingo opened up not just about his upcoming role in the Michael Jackson biopic Michael and Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, but also about love, identity, and vulnerability. And honestly, that's what stood out the most. Beyond the blockbuster headlines, Domingo shared advice for hopeless romantics, encouraging people to stay open, stay authentic, and trust that love finds you when you're really yourself. It's a reminder that even at the height of success, the most powerful stories are still the personal ones. I love that guy. He's amazing. Next, Miami Beach Pride turns 18. The countdown is finally on. Miami Beach Pride is celebrating its 18th anniversary with 10 days of events starting April 2nd, and it's going to be big. We're talking a brand new drag race mega show, a full festival and parade weekend, and major star power expected throughout. And this isn't just a pride, it's a full-scale cultural moment. And at a time when visibility so matters, events like this remind us how powerful community can be. And Florida needs this. Next, the Real Housewives take on HIV crisis in D.C. This week, diamonds turned into diplomacy. Stars from the Real Housewives franchise headed to Capitol Hill as part of the Housewives on the Hill campaign, and the mission was serious. They're raising awareness about growing HIV care crisis that could leave thousands without access to life-saving medication. Among those participating was Erica Jane, Nene Leakes, Phaedra Parks, Melissa Gorga, Candace Bassett, Marisol Patton, Luann de Lesseps. They met with lawmakers including Mazi Hirono and Adelita Grijalva, and to discuss the future of HIV funding. And here's the reality. 18 states plus DC have already cut drug assistance programs. 12 more are considering cuts. Federal funding has been flat since 2014. And rising healthcare costs and expiring ACA subsidies. And then you've got a crisis building fast. This isn't reality TV drama. This is real life, and advocacy like this really matters. So thank goodness for those Real Housewives that are going and fighting for the HIV crisis. Next, Anthony Rapp returns to the stage. 5,000, 2,500, 600 minutes later, and Anthony Rapp is still telling the story that hit. The Rent icon is back in New York and with a deeply intimate one-man show called The Touch, performed for just 40 people at a time. It's his smallest audience ever, but maybe his most powerful work yet. The show explores a messy, complex gay character navigating power, connection, and mortality, all while Rapp balances real life as a father. And yes, he's also celebrating 30 years of Rent. Some stories don't age, they evolve. I love seeing the original cast of Rent. I was lucky enough to see that, and I lived in New York. Next, WWE makes LGBTQ plus history. This is a big one. Aaron Rourke has officially become the first openly gay singles champion in WWE history after winning the WWE Evolve Championship. Let that sink in. While Darren Young made history in 2015 as part of the tag team, this is the first time an openly gay wrestler has held a single title. And in a sport that has long leaned into hypermasculinity, this moment hits differently. Rourke is also currently the only openly gay wrestler under the WWE contract. Representation doesn't always come loudly, but sometimes it looks like a championship belt. So thank you for representing us. Before we continue with the news, you know what drives me crazy about online shopping? The passwords. Every single site, different logon, different password, and somehow I never remember any of them. And of course, it's always when I'm about to check out. I've got everything in my cart. I'm ready to go, and suddenly I'm looking for my wallet on my nightstand because I'm always shopping at nighttime and trying to reset a password for the third time. But then I see it, that purple shop pay button. And I swear it's like a little moment of peace in chaos. One tap and boom, done. No digging, no logging in, no stress, just cha-ching, purchase complete. And here's the thing, that's powered by Shopify. And Shopify is behind millions of businesses around the world, including brands like Allbirds. And what I love about Shopify, it's not just about checkout, it's everything. You can build your entire online store with beautiful templates, use AI tools to write product descriptions, or improve your images, and even run your email and social campaigns all in one place. I mean, as someone building my own brand and podcast ecosystem, I know how overwhelming it can feel trying to juggle a million different tools. Shopify simplifies all of that. Inventory, payments, analytics, everything is just there. And honestly, that's a game changer. Because no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. So yeah, from one tap checkout moment to running an entire business, Shopify makes it easier. See less carts go abandoned and more sales go with Shopify with their Shop Pay button. Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/listenup. That's shopify.com/listenup. And back to the news, Kevin Spacey ends in settlement. Kevin Spacey has reached a settlement in a civil sexual assault case involving 3 men. The case closes without a trial, without a verdict, and with confidential terms. Spacey continues to deny all allegations, and like many cases tied to the wave of accusations that emerged in 2017, this one ends with more questions than answers. It's a reminder how complex and how often unresolved these situations can be. Our next story is deeply personal. Alan and Matthew Marrow walked into what that should have been a routine green card interview in New York. Instead, Alan was taken into ICE custody. He's now been detained for over 3 months, moved between facilities while his husband continues to fight for his release. They followed the process, they did everything right, and still they were separated. This isn't policy. It's people, it's love, and it's a reminder that LGBTQ rights don't exist in a vacuum. They intersect with immigration, healthcare, and every part of life. I feel so sorry for this couple. I cannot imagine having my husband not knowing where he is, which facility he's in, and he was taken away from me for 3 months when I was trying to follow the process and laws. Something has to change. Next, Miley Cyrus supports Chappell Roan. Miley Cyrus is showing up for the next generation. She revealed she was one of those first to reach out to Chappell Roan as the star struggled with fame, harassment, and paparazzi. Miley, who had her own intense rise to fame, said she feels protective when she sees artists being bullied. And honestly, that mentorship matters because fame might look glamorous, but can also be overwhelming, isolating, and very human. Next, we go to the BBC faces backlash over LGBTQ plus show cancellation. A petition demanding better queer representation at the BBC is gaining traction with nearly 10,000 signatures. This comes after the cancellation of I Kissed a Boy and I Kissed a Girl due to funding challenges. Fans are pushing back hard. They're calling for a renewed commitment to LGBTQ plus programming, dedicated funding, transparency in how resources are allocated, because representation isn't a luxury, it's visibility, it's validation, and it's long overdue. Next, we go to Brooklyn, where the Prospect Park controversy is happening. A $37.5 million redevelopment project in Brooklyn's Prospect Park is sparking backlash. The plan will transform the Vale of Kashmir, historically known as a queer cruising space, into a family-friendly walkway. Supporters call it progress, critics call it erasure, because spaces like this, even the complicated ones, are part of LGBTQ plus history. And when they disappear, so do pieces of our story. You know, I seen this story and I was on the fence if I was going to report it, because if they're improving the park with $37.5 million, that's a lot. And there's not a cruising spot anymore for the LGBTQ plus community. I feel like that's okay because there's a lot of apps. And do you need a cruising spot still? I don't know. I'm on the fence with that one. I don't really see that as LGBTQ plus history. That's my own opinion, though. Our next story is my last story, and it's very, very bizarre. Florida cousin marriage ban fails. A Florida bill that would have banned first cousin marriage has failed to pass in the state Senate. Florida remains one of about 16 states where such marriages are still legal. It's not directly an LGBTQ plus issue, but highlights how inconsistent laws can be across the country. So if you want to marry your cousin, go to Florida because you can do it there. I'm ashamed to be from Florida. And that's your LGBTQ plus news roundup for today. From major cultural wins to serious policy conversations, one thing is clear: visibility, advocacy, and representation still matter. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow, share, and come back tomorrow for more, because staying informed, that's power. I'm Zach Randles-Friedman, and this is Listen Up, Girl.